G'day. Celebrities that follow Formula One, and there are many of them, but there are also many that love the exposure that comes from being seen in the F1 paddock. In this video, I'm going to go through many of the celebrities that I've photographed at the track in the 7 seasons that I've been shooting this sport. Let's kick it off with one of the biggest names in the entertainment world, Brad Pitt. Of course, Brad's filming a movie with Apple, and he's been there in a work capacity, but occasionally has come along just to enjoy the atmosphere. What about Neymar, the soccer player? Huge name in sport, has been to a number of races over the past couple of years. He's a good friend of Lewis Hamilton's. Michael Jordan, is there a bigger name in basketball? Maybe, but he was seen at the very first Miami Grand Prix, and he towered above everybody else. And then there's Tom Cruise, spotted here. Huge name in the movie world. And of course, a lot of you are going to be saying, why are these people getting free tickets? Are they getting free tickets? Yeah, mostly yes. Unless it's a crazy event like Las Vegas where some celebrities were having to pay for tickets. But most of the time they're invited by, say, F1 or a team. If they're invited by F1, typically we'll get notification of who's coming to a race if they're a guest of Formula One. And Formula One's clever, because they know that a post on Cristiano Ronaldo's page is worth millions of dollars to them. And what does it cost Formula One? A ticket to the event. And they're the people printing the tickets. So in terms of a marketing strategy, there is probably none better for getting attention to the sport. I did mention Cristiano Ronaldo. No, I've never seen him at the track, but I remember him popping up once in Monaco. Very difficult for a man like him to get around the paddock because he's just mobbed. He needs plenty of security. And he's not the only one to have security. People like David Beckham, I've seen him at a number of races. Yes, he comes with security, but he loves the sport and he loves mixing with his fellow Brits, the likes of Lando Norris here in Qatar, going back to the, 2021. What about regulars, people we see more than once? I'm going to mention here the likes of Martin Garrix, the DJ, good friend of Lando's, Daniel's and Max's. He's often a headline act at the event, playing to tens of thousands of people who stay on after the race. will.i.am, huge fan. I've seen him so often, get along with him well, lovely man. He even did that song for Formula One. He's a personal friend of Stefano Domenicali's, and I believe he has a season pass, which means he can just rock up to any race that he wants. Michael Douglas loves Formula One. Remember this bit? Big fan of Martin Brundle's?
Week in and week out, I'm so impressed both here in the pit and your color commentary. You're amazing.
And he's joined by his wife, Catherine Zeta-Jones, at various races. I've seen Shaquille O'Neal at a number of races. He's a powerful fella with a huge audience. And these people, as I mentioned before, are influencers. So they can influence people to come and like our sport. Jackie Stewart, legendary 3-time world champion. Of course, Jackie is there in official capacity. He often takes tours for Rolex. Patrick Dempsey, he loves Formula One. I think he's a racer himself. I've seen him at a number of tracks, in particular Vegas and Austin in 2023 and Monaco in 2022. And what about this regular, Jerry Horner-Halliwell, a Spice Girl, also married to Red Bull CEO and team principal Christian Horner. Let's move on to sports stars now, the likes of Patrick Mahomes with his wife Brittany in Miami last year, even smiling for a picture. Of course, he's the legendary quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs. Tennis stars, yes, we see a few of them. Serena Williams, sister Venus Williams, Roger Federer, caught up with him in Miami last year. Here's Lindsey Vonn, Olympic champion, New York Times best-selling author, entrepreneur, investor, and dog mum, according to her Instagram page. Scotty James was at a couple of races, most recently in Melbourne with his girlfriend, wife now, Chloe Stroll, daughter of Lawrence and sister of Lance. Golfers, yes, one past champion in Greg Norman, a fellow Australian, spotted him at the Miami GP last year, and Rory McIlroy. I actually had a chat with Rory on the grid at COTA last year. He was a guest of Alpine, even did a little fun putting challenge with both of their drivers. What about fighters? Yes, I've spotted a couple. Alexander Volkovsky, recently at the Australian GP. Paddy Pimblett, Paddy the Baddy. Here he is, along with Conor McGregor, who had his boat in a plum spot in Monaco and was dressed rather loudly. A couple of other footballers, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, seen him on a couple of occasions, and he does wear some nice watches. And Patrice Evra, very stylish dresser. And a rather odd one, a fencer. Not a fencer rector, I'm talking about a fencer at the Olympics. Miles Chamley Watson, Friend of Lewis Hamilton's and always dresses like a champion. Said he'd take me out and style me, but that never happened. I don't think I'd be game enough to wear the sort of stuff that he and Lewis wears. Let's move on to some actors, shall we? And I'm talking Terry Crews, who loves the TV camera, Orlando Bloom, movie star, Tom Holland, Spider-Man, spotted him in Monaco last year. Vin Diesel was in Miami last year, he's a solid lad. Chris Hemsworth, a fellow Australian, spotted him in Monaco in 2017, and Abu Dhabi last year. Adam Driver's been to an F1 race. Not sure if he was there to watch any of the racing. He was certainly there to do some filming in the paddock for his movie Ferrari. Liam Cunningham, many of you will know him. And one of my favourites, Harrison Ford. A couple of years ago in Silverstone, I got word from a friend of mine that he was coming. So I thought, oh, I'm going to go out and wait for him. It was close to race start time, but I love Harrison. And it was when COVID was happening, so that was at 2021. And I just happened to see him get out of the car, and I raced over, and he walked around the back of the car. And as he walked around the back, he put his mask on. I thought, oh no, I missed out on a photo. But he looked at me, and I was the only photographer there, so he very kindly took the mask off for me for this series of shots. And my favourite Harrison Ford movie? Frantic. Now, I guess a number of you haven't seen that movie, so go and have a look. It's old, but I love it. More actors, please, you cry. Okay, what about Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney? They now own a part of Alpine. They've joined us in the paddock, as has Khaby Lame, the internet sensation, having been seen in Monza and Miami in 2023 and Abu Dhabi and Monaco in 2022. Now, he has a huge following on Instagram, and this is a prime example of F1 inviting people with incredible reach to get their message out to those particular influencers' audience. And it, as I said before, is a very sound and solid strategy. As much as I know a lot of you will just hate the idea. Why can't you give those tickets to people like us? F1 will say they get better value out of giving it to an influencer. Singers. Mariah Carey, I've shot her. She had her youngster with her going back to Monaco. And I did actually suggest she get into the safety car. She was looking at it on the grid, which she did and posed for these pictures. Christine Aguilera, a lot of you said she's got no idea about the sport. She doesn't have to. She's just there to have a look. Ed Sheeran, saw him at COTA. What I did note, that he had the most, obstructive security guard I've ever seen. He just wanted to stand in front of our photos. He was diligently looking to run interference. And of course, when you get 3 photographers in an arc, he could only cover 1, maybe 2 at best. So somebody always got a photo. But Ed, I think, was enjoying it immensely. Do you know this woman, Megan Thee Stallion? Well, she caused quite a stir because she wouldn't talk to Martin Brundle on the grid, and then she went out into pit lane where she posed for images in this rather revealing dress for about 15 or 20 photographers. The Jonas Brothers, and then Joe Jonas on his own. I've spotted those at the track. J Balvin, seen him on 2 occasions. I didn't know much about him before I photographed him in Miami at the first race, and I realised he is absolutely huge on the internet. And you, well, not you in particular, but you as a group, certainly embraced him on Instagram. Queen Latifah, yes, seen her. Pharrell Williams, who's quite influential in a number of areas, and indeed an adventurous dresser. And then DJs, the likes of Armin van Buuren and Tiesto. Royalty, have we had any royalty? Yes, we have the Prince and Princess of Monaco, Prince Harry last year at COTA. Those pictures of mine were absolutely huge. They popped up all over the world. We did get warning actually earlier in the day that he was coming, but a few people were quite sceptical. But it turns out he indeed was there, was a guest of Mercedes for some part of the day. And finally we'll get on to models, and we do see a number of models in the paddock, some starting out and others hugely successful, having had a long career. And I'll go to Heidi Klum, who I spotted not even in the paddock. She was actually going to a corporate facility just near the paddock wearing this particular outfit. And at the time, when I took the photo, I didn't know it was her. And I certainly didn't know her boyfriend. I took the pictures and I looked in the back of the camera after she left and I thought, oh, that must be, because I didn't have glasses on, that must be a body stocking she's wearing under that. And I put that up to Getty Images. Well, that picture went crazy because there was no body stocking. That was all skin. Now, on that topic, I spotted this comment on one of my Las Vegas videos, and I'd never paid much attention to that graph, so I checked it out, and this was the segment. So I contacted the model in question, Veronica with a K, and asked her about that outfit that she wore on the Saturday.
people don't understand that it's my job to look sexy and nice, and they are blaming me. How dare I can go for such an events like this? That's my job to look good. I chose it by myself. And also, like, I think on such an events where there are fast cars, I think there is compatibility with beautiful women in amazing dresses.
And just two other models I'll bring your attention to. Knoll Doll, Ivana Knoll. You might have seen her in Croatia. She was quite popular wearing the red and white colours of the Croatian flag. And Cara Delevingne, who had little or no time for Martin Brundle on the grid.
I'm sure it would have been extremely interesting.
And finally, the celebrity that I've seen most often at the track, yes, I'm pretty sure I can say that, is Gordon Ramsay, the famous chef. My gosh, I've seen him at 7 races, including Vegas last year, Monza, Silverstone, Austria, Canada, and the year prior, Austria and Saudi Arabia, often in the company of his daughter, Holly. It's true that celebrities love Formula One for a couple of reasons, as I've mentioned before. But as long as we have celebrities, they will be a regular part of Formula One. And a reminder that you can pick up a whole host of signed prints from the likes of drivers and even past greats like Jackie Stewart by heading to my website, kimellman.com. And remember, each print is individually numbered, and you get a digital print of that person signing your picture, so you have irrefutable proof of authenticity. With that said, I'm going to ask you to please like this video. A number of you have not yet subscribed, and if so, you're probably missing out on valuable content. It comes to you free of charge. And for a whole lot of extra content and merchandise, click over here. Merchandise like this hat, which at the time of recording is not available, but if you're watching it sometime after this video's release, you could be able to pick one of those up now. It comes in grey and blue. Thanks for watching, and stay passionate. Jason.